Oh, yes.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we are finally taking a look at Transformers War for Cybertron Earthrise #1, Soundbarrier. And even though Soundbarrier is the first toy in the series numerically, he's one of the last figures that I'm getting in the first wave. He's been pretty hard to find. The local targets weren't really getting them in as soon as they were the other figures. And even once I started getting them in, he was flying off the shelves pretty quickly. And I imagine that's probably due to some people wanting to buy multiple copies of him to either army build with him or just have more roads or ramps for their Micromaster bases. But I finally have him, so we can finally get this review done. I'm excited. So if you're familiar with my reviews, you know how they go. We're going to take a look at Soundbarrier in his packaging. We'll look at the instructions, and then we'll see Soundbarrier himself in both his shield and robot modes. I'll be doing some group shots with him, and then at the end of the video, I'll give my final thoughts. So Soundbarrier comes in this nice kind of turquoise blue Earthrise packaging. You can see him front and center here. You can see his fire blast effect, which is very cool, kind of different looking, almost like a sea urchin in shape. He really stands out due to his bright coloration. So as I was coming up on the Transformers aisle, I spotted him from way down the other side. So pretty cool. I think he's very dynamic looking. And I love the artwork, though I gotta say the hue they used for the background kind of makes it look like he's underwater, though I really don't think that's the case. But it's very cool looking. We go ahead and flip this around, and you can see the renders of him in the robot and shield or ramp mode. Interestingly, that little peg handle for the shield mode is flipped down in the robot mode render. Shouldn't be like that. It's kind of silly. Only takes 4 steps to transform him because, honestly, you're just flipping his backpack down and making him a shield. Not too complex there. And then here they call out the connectivity for the airlock system. They even have this little kind of wireframe render of a Micromaster base, which I'm not sure which one that is. I think it's Ironworks, actually. Looks like Ironworks. Right here we have Soundbarrier's instructions. And you can see it's just a render of his robot mode here. And you can make out some planetary details in the background. And guessing this is probably the image from the universal map. So go ahead, open it up. Transformation is very simple. Basically you tab his arms and legs together, flip his little handle out, flip the backpack down. Then you slap his fire blast effect on there. And then transform him from shield to ramp mode, you flip the peg in. That's it. Then here shows him connecting to Astro Train, who is being re-released in the Earthrise line. Don't know if I plan on actually picking that one up since I already have Astro Train, but we'll see. And then you got the symbol for the airlock system there. And this is the piece of the map that Soundbarrier comes with. Make sure to be very careful when opening your toy if you want to save this piece, because you have a tendency to just kind of rip the image all to heck when you open it. So I recommend kind of peeling the plastic bubble back a bit and then kind of getting a finger up under there and opening it by pulling at it, kind of pulling towards the edge to, kind of deter the paper from ripping toward the center. So pretty cool. Got like a little spiral galaxy or a black hole or something going on, along with one of these little connecting red lines. And again, not much to see here, but once you combine this with some of the other map pieces, it should all start to come together. And now we got Soundbarrier out of his packaging in his robot mode, which is pretty basic. Does look a lot like the Target Master type Battlemasters from Siege as far as his overall proportions and stuff. His head, unfortunately, does not articulate. It's molded with his torso. But the arms and legs are on ball joints. So about the same amount of posability as the other Battlemasters. He's got a big backpack, which is actually 2-layered, though luckily doesn't seem to make him too back heavy. I don't have any kind of issues standing this guy up, so You shouldn't either, unless you maybe have them on a declined surface. The Fire Blast effect that I'm dropping. It's very unique. It's an all new shape. Again, looks kind of like a sea urchin, but it's meant to be like an explosion, which makes sense that it'd favor an explosive look rather than some sort of a blast or like a energy beam, because he's a shield, not a weapon. Very neat. These little spikes coming out of the edges here make me a little worried. I'm afraid they might break off, especially this one right here. It's very soft, so just be careful. I wouldn't store these in a way to where it could get messed up. So yeah, Soundbarrier himself is, cool to look at. The backpack looks a little unwieldy, but what can you do? The guy turns into a shield. And overall, he is going to scale well with the other Battlemasters, so that's a plus. Now we're going to transform old Soundbarrier here. So the first thing I want to do is peg his feet together. And you peg his arms, this little post here, and they go down into these slots there on the backpack. So they stay nice and secure, like that. Then the backpack, you flip this half down, and his heels are going to plug into these holes right there. And they stand pretty firmly. All right. Now we go ahead and flip the handle all the way out. Luckily, it's not too hard to get out. And that's it. That is the shield mode. Obviously, the underside of it is literally just the robot. So it's a very weak transformation. He doesn't hide well. He just gets a panel over his back. But, it looks okay. And if you want to, you can attach the Fire Blast effect. Make it look like he's blocking an explosion or, a laser bolt or something. And let's go ahead and mount him to somebody. And I'm going to take a page from the CG renders for both Wheeljack and Soundbarrier and use Wheeljack to show them off. And you can see it makes a pretty decent looking shield. Covers a fair amount of space here. And this is the position that they recommend in the renders. You could always kind of spin him around 180. If you want to go higher up on the arm, it's always an option. It just depends on the proportions of the robot wielding him and your own preference. But looks pretty neat either way. Nothing incredibly dynamic about this. I mean, it's a shield. It's a rectangle that blocks stuff. But it's neat. It is the first shield that we've received as a Battlemaster. And that does make me think of the fact that in addition to Soundbarrier here, the only other two Battlemasters that have been revealed for Earthrise also turn into shields. So it's going to get really samey. I mean, they're all just going to turn into a rectangle, basically. And I get the design team's motivation to let them turn into something that works with the Micromaster bases, because a shield makes for a good, ramp or a road. I get that. But man, if that's the only Battlemaster we're getting in Earthrise, just a bunch of shields, that's going to be very boring. I mean, Siege was bad enough because they were mostly, target masters that recycled the same two molds. So I'm hoping we don't get a repeat of that and it's just shields every which way, because that's just, it's not as fun or dynamic as an actual weapon. And, as a collector, I'm more likely to pick this up than, say, a 7-year-old child that wants a cool toy. Little boy's going to want something that goes pew pew, not just a static object. But we'll see how it pans out for them. I'm hoping once they reveal future waves in the toy line that we'll get a little more variation. I don't want all shields. It's going to be very boring. All right, now for the final part, we're going to use them as a ramp. So go ahead, flip the peg back in so it's out of the way. And we're going to bring in old Ironworks, since he is the only modulator currently available. And I'm going to go ahead and connect it right at that end using the airlock system, TM. Break Ironworks in the process. I'm not crazy about how tight of a fit those connections are. They do worry me a little bit that I'm going to end up breaking something. Hopefully that doesn't come to pass. But here we go. This is our guy connected to old Ironworks there. And unfortunately, because of all the undercarriage here, he can't just go straight flat to the ground like this ramp can. Sorry for that screeching noise. So he's gonna make a better road than an off-ramp. So just keep that in mind. You're gonna have a bit of a drop-off if you use him as an exit ramp. But he is cool looking. You know, he does have this detailing, like almost arrow-like detailing to show that he's supposed to be like a road or a track. It's, you know, supposed to imply a direction of travel, looks like. And just looks neat. And you know, he's got connections, so you can put fire blast effects on him and simulate some sort of battle going on. You know, he's taking some damage as they're trying to shoot a Micromaster driving across or something. And overall, there's a lot of play value here. And you know, I think that's what it's really all about, right? You're trying to get your money's worth. And I think that's the note that I'm going to go ahead and end this on. Soundbarrier is a very neat idea. He's, you know, an original take so far on the Battlemaster thing, as far as being a shield that can double as a ramp. Again, they're seemingly copy and pasting this formula for all the ones after him, which I'm not crazy about, but I'm not going to judge him for that. He's the first, so he gets props for being original. He looks very cool. I like his colors. I like the clear icy blue coloration of his shield or backpack part. You know, he doesn't want for articulation, at least as far as Battlemasters go. And because of that kind of three-way play value, I think he's well worth the $6. If you want to go nuts, you could always army build with him, though I ask, as a collector, be mindful of other collectors. You know, when this guy first starts hitting shelves, don't just scoop them all up. Being a little greedy, little selfish. Wait till he's saturated a bit, you know, then help clear the shelves. And yeah, I'll just say this is the most excited I've been for a Battlemaster in a while, just because by the time Siege came to an end, it was really just more and more of the same. Aside from maybe 2 figures, there wasn't really anything that broke the mold. You know, they're all guns. So this is refreshing. And I, for one, am very happy that I managed to find this guy and pick him up. Gonna have a lot of fun with him. Of course, that is just my take on the figure. Perhaps you agree, perhaps you don't. Love to hear what you have to say in the comments section. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to toss it a like. Let YouTube know that you are liking these things that I'm putting out. If you want to see more reviews like this or any of my other videos, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you always get a heads up when I post something new. I thank you for joining me for this look at the newest and coolest Battlemaster, old Soundbarrier. And with all that said, I will see you next time.